Hello, Spoiled Vision Movie Recaps here. Today, I'm going to provide a summary of a horror thriller film called Walden. Spoilers ahead. Be cautious and stay tuned. The movie opens with a young girl trapped between walls as cement pours down on her from all sides. She's buried alive, with no way out. Fast forward 15 years, and we meet Sam, a recent college graduate who's a young engineer. During her graduation party, her father, who owns a demolition company, presents her with a job overseeing the demolition of a remote building. Success could make her his partner. Her first task is this massive, unique architectural structure, an apartment building in the middle of nowhere. This building is the brainchild of Joseph Malestrazza, an eccentric architect fixated on Egyptian architecture. Samantha arrives at the Malestrazza building and is welcomed by Mary, the caretaker, who lives there with her introverted son, Jimmy. Sam informs Mary that she'll be residing in one of the apartments within the building. Jimmy helps her with her bags and lays out some ground rules, including staying away from the 8th floor, Malestrazza's domain, and avoiding the rooftop due to its danger. On her way to her apartment, Sam notices a room labeled as Julie's. After settling in, she takes a bath to freshen up. Later, she inquires with Mary about the current occupants of the building. Mary reveals that only 4 people remain. She and Jimmy are responsible for looking after the building until it's demolished, as the other tenants have been evicted, except for 2 holdouts. The following day, Sam begins her analysis of the building's structure. Her task is to determine the amount of TNT required to bring it down, pinpoint the best places for detonation, and select the type of explosives. During her research, she visits a local convenience store to purchase some supplies. Curiosity gets the best of her, leading her to borrow a computer and delve into the building's history. She uncovers a gruesome past from 1993, marked by a series of disappearances. When the victims were eventually found, the discovery was horrifying. 16 individuals, including men, women, and children, were sealed within small compartments within the building, which were then filled with liquid concrete. The architect, Malestrazza himself, was among the victims. Initially, a construction worker was blamed for the murders, but was later found innocent, leaving the crimes unsolved and the killer unidentified. Returning to the building, Sam resumes her task of identifying the best demolition points, but is startled when a man wielding an axe suddenly approaches her. It turns out that this man is one of the tenants who still resides in the building and adamantly opposes its demolition. During the night, Jimmy secretly escorts Sam to the 8th floor, the off-limits area. Jimmy shares the grim tale of Malestrazza, the architect who perished within the walls of the building. He leads her into a room and points to the wall where Malestrazza's lifeless body was discovered. The cement had disfigured his face beyond recognition, and it was Mary who ultimately identified him. Jimmy also discloses that among the 16 victims, there was a young child named Julie, the same child seen at the movie's outset and living in the room Sam had glimpsed earlier. Furthermore, Jimmy reveals that his own father was among the victims, showing her the wall where his father was found. Amidst this conversation, the lights suddenly go out, causing Sam to injure herself in the ensuing panic. Later, Jimmy tends to her wound and begins to make advances towards her, revealing his attraction, though she firmly asks him to stop. In the evening, as Sam gazes into a mirror, she notices the glass behind her violently shaking. She lifts the mirror, revealing blood oozing from a hole. In an instant, Sam is inexplicably pulled into the wall and awakens, realizing she is now trapped inside, with cement pouring in from all sides. She screams in desperation before abruptly waking up from her nightmare. It turns out to be a terrifying dream, rendering her unable to return to sleep. She aimlessly roams her apartment until a sudden appearance startles her. But it's only her boyfriend, Peter, attempting to surprise her. Sam takes Peter on a tour of the apartment and, covertly, to the forbidden 8th floor. While exploring this floor, they stumble upon a concealed passageway that leads Sam to his secret room, allowing someone to spy on the apartments in secrecy. Sam uncovers that Jimmy had been spying on her while she was bathing. She confronts Mary about this, leading to Jimmy's embarrassed departure. Later that evening, Peter suggests that Sam should leave the next day, a decision she agrees with. As Peter and Sam spend their evening together, Jimmy becomes increasingly envious of their relationship. The following day, Sam packs her belongings and prepares a report on the required amount of TNT for the building's demolition. Before parting ways, Jimmy apologizes to Sam for his voyeuristic behavior and offers her a gift. Jimmy presents Sam with a copy of Malestrazza's journal, the building's architect. Through the journal, Sam deduces the existence of a vast hidden space at the building's core. Jimmy ventures to the rooftop in search of an entrance to this concealed area but fails to return. Concerned for Jimmy's safety, Sam and her boyfriend embark on a search for him and come upon a colossal shaft in the building's center. From the depths of the shaft, they hear Jimmy's cries for help, revealing that he's injured. Sam's boyfriend lowers her into the shaft on a rope, initially without complications. However, their rescue mission takes a horrific turn as Peter is suddenly impaled by an assailant wielding sharp iron, bleeding to death before Sam's eyes. She plummets to the bottom of the shaft. Sam regains consciousness at the shaft's base, but she is not alone. A mysterious figure is there with her, none other than Malestrazza himself, the architect she believed to be entombed in the wall. Malestrazza holds a radio, and through a recording on it, it becomes apparent that Jimmy's earlier cries for help were pre-recorded by Jimmy himself. Soon, Jimmy sends her a message from above, explaining that he's holding her captive until she learns to love him. Jimmy then mails Sam's demolition report to her father and submerges her car in a lake, creating the illusion that Sam is away on vacation with her boyfriend. In the depths of the shaft, Malestrazza discloses a shocking revelation. He orchestrated the murders of the 16 people sealed within the building's walls. He believed that ancient Egyptian monuments endured through time due to rituals during construction involving the entombment of living victims within the walls. Malestrazza was determined to ensure his buildings stood for eternity, so he buried people alive within them. He further reveals that one of the victims was Mary's husband, making Mary an accomplice in seeking revenge by imprisoning Malestrazza in the shaft. Mary deceived everyone by falsely identifying another victim's body as Malestrazza's, allowing her to keep Malestrazza as her captive. Following this revelation, Jimmy returns to the shaft and delivers a cassette tape. Malestrazza plays the tape, wherein Jimmy demands that Sam and Malestrazza dance together. Malestrazza informs Sam that they must comply with Jimmy's orders, as Jimmy can be both kind and cruel, depending on their obedience. Sam reluctantly agrees to dance as instructed by Jimmy. However, when Jimmy demands they kiss, she refuses, but Malestrazza forcibly pulls her closer and makes her kiss him. After a few moments, Jimmy intervenes, warning Malestrazza not to touch Sam again. As a token of compliance, Jimmy lowers a basket containing food, water, and a two-way radio. He instructs Sam to keep the radio with her for communication and closeness. Later that night, Mary ascends to the roof. Sam cries out for her help, surprising Mary upon seeing Sam and Malestrazza in the hole. Mary angrily scolds Jimmy, insisting that the place was meant for the architect, not anyone else. She realizes that Sam must remain in the hole with Malestrazza, or she'll report the incident to the police, risking Mary's arrest and Jimmy becoming an orphan. In the afternoon, Sam's father and his demolition team, who received Sam's report, arrive at the apartment building to prepare for the explosives. Meanwhile, Sam remains trapped in the hole with Malestrazza, attempting to seduce Jimmy in the hope that he'll free her and save her from the impending explosion. However, her efforts prove futile. Malestrazza, seeing her desperation, decides to construct a tomb with pipes connected to the cement tank, believing that if another person is buried alive, the building won't be destroyed during demolition. He volunteers to sacrifice himself to save the building and asks Sam to end his life. After some taunting, she complies, and he expresses gratitude before descending into the tomb as it fills with cement. Outside the building, Mary keeps Jimmy calm as the explosives are set up and the countdown begins. However, as the countdown progresses, Jimmy has a change of heart. He cries out Sam's name and rushes toward the building. Sam's father orders the countdown to halt. Sam is then rescued from the hole and placed in an ambulance. Mary is arrested for her involvement in the kidnapping of Malestrazza. In the film's conclusion, Sam narrates that Malestrazza constructed 27 buildings, and they all remain standing. The apartment building, considered his masterpiece, is spared from demolition as a mark of respect for his sacrifice, preserving it as his legacy. And that's how the movie concludes. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification for more movie recaps.